when it comes to a strategy, you got to think about like what resources are available to you. What can you do in a short amount of time to deliver the most value to your target customer?
I've seen this time and again when friends and family start a business, they want to scratch the surface with 10 to 12 different things and it just never works.
I think you're spot on. One thing that this question asked was like, what should my day-to-day look like for the person that would be setting the strategy? And I think,
Erald, I know you're working with a new client where a lot of what they do is higher ticket.
I don't think there's any channel that would get you overnight results, I'll be honest. Like paid media, maybe you'll see something a little bit quicker. We're all grappling with something. Each and every entrepreneur, business owner, and leader experiences growing pains, no matter where they are on their business journey. On Grappling Growth, we discuss the challenges we consistently face in striving for more, sharing strategies, ideas, and thoughts on how to grapple with growth. We're building a platform where you can join us sharing your challenges and successes alike, whilst growing. So, you coming along?
Welcome back to episode 15 of the Grappling Growth podcast with me, Joe Testouri, and my co-host, Erald Krasniqi. Today, we have a question from a fellow entrepreneur. And we took this from Reddit, and the question reads, which is a very, very ambiguous question. Erald, this one's for you. How do you create a marketing strategy for a small business?
Yeah, and I read the question as well, Joe, and you're right. There's perhaps a few things here that we need to consider before we answer it. But what I would say generically is creating a marketing strategy for a small business comes down to a couple things. First, consider the niche, right? Some niches work better with certain channels more than others. And I'll take an example. If you are in the construction industry, for example, when you're trying to market your services, now, would I go to TikTok or Instagram Reels to push stuff out? Maybe not. But if I'm a landscaping business that, wants to show off their work, perhaps Instagram and TikTok, something more visual would work better than if you're in a niche that isn't so visually led. And that's probably like a bad example because I think even builders, if you're on like TikTok and you can show off some exceptionally good work, that stuff would get you very far. But consider the niche first. When it comes to a strategy, you got to think about like what resources are available to you. What can you do in a short amount of time to deliver the most value to your target customer? And where is your target customer as well? And which is why I brought the TikTok example. If your audience is not on TikTok, then you might have great content. You won't actually get any conversion. So those are the first couple things I'd think about when it comes to strategy. And I think strategy is a word. It's to sort of like clarify what I mean here. When I'm talking about strategy, I'm talking about like the what, the why, the how of your marketing, right? What is it that you're going to be doing? Who are you trying to target? And how are you going to get there? What's the messaging? What's the offer? Why should people care about that? If you're a small business, let's assume that resources are limited, time, money, etc. What is it that you've got that you can do in a short space of time, and who are you trying to reach with those methodologies? Just to touch on this with you, Joe, what are your thoughts about the strategy part of marketing? Because I know we've dealt with a lot of like medium to large companies where strategy is kind of set and it's pretty obvious. What do you think the difference is for a small business that they have to consider?
So with small businesses, I think the biggest challenge they face is they try to overcomplicate things and they consistently want to do everything. So I've seen this time and again when friends and family start a business, they want to scratch the surface with 10 to 12 different things and it just never works because they don't think about resource allocation, project management, and what is the quickest route to market. Now, the biggest reason why small businesses fail is because they don't focus on sales and marketing, revenue generating activities. The strategy for me is the how, and the how is the easiest thing to get going. And all I would look to do if I was small businesses setting up is I would meticulously analyze my competitors. I would study 3 to 5 of them inside out, work out what they're doing best. I would depending on what you offer, I would go to their shop, I would jump on sales calls, I would funnel hack everything they have online or in person to figure out what they're doing to get the biggest uplift. Because it's kind of like the Pareto principle, 20% of activities will generate 80% of revenue for the business. So the methodology that I follow, and even clients who I coach right now, is what I like to think of as the 1-1-1 method, which I think I've made it myself. I can't remember seeing it anywhere else, but picking one niche, one audience, one offer, and one product. But it's just getting really granular with what you're doing. And sure, you can test, budget, and time resource elsewhere. And I would only allocate up to 10% of that into testing new ventures. And I know that it's something that some of the biggest, most famous companies, such as Google, initiated, where they would focus on investing into all of these different channels and pools. Jeff Bezos is very famous for having 4,000 ideas at once being tested within Amazon. You see the Amazon warehouse exploding. So it's always kind of having a small bit of your, I guess it would be an outside bet, it'd be a hedge, where you've got a bit of budget elsewhere looking at testing new things. But look at what the market is doing, and if you can find 3 to 5 competitors who are very successful, then I'm not saying copy them, but take your own unique spin on it and stop trying to be, and I know this sounds quite patronizing and directed towards small business owners, but find they want to look for the new innovation. But if you go to the gym and in order to put muscle on, you just need to lift heavier weights and progressively overload as time goes on, going there and trying to do cross training or cardio, that's not going to get you results. So you need to figure out what's the goal that I'm looking to achieve here. And one of my clients, we were redoing their website a few years ago, and he said to me that his goal with his business was not to be the market leader or the best in the space. He just wanted to have the most sustainable product in the market. That was his goal. And he knew very quickly what he wanted to achieve in his market. And that's what I would say when it comes down to creating a marketing strategy for a small business is stop trying to reinvent the wheel, get too creative, analyze what the market is doing, because that will give you the biggest indication of what to do. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that, Erald.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. One thing that this question asked was like, what should my day-to-day look like for the person that would be setting the strategy? And I think everything you've touched upon there will kind of guide the way. And once you understand, like, again, you get the market, you get what the competitors are doing that's successful, whether that's SEO or paid media or a ton of social pushing. You might have brands that really focus on CRM, and email is like a big part of their strategy. I definitely see that. Your day to day, especially if you're the sole marketing manager, is to try to delegate the channels that you think would work best. Because I'm an SEO, right? Give me the paid channel and I wouldn't know what to do with it, right? That's why I have people like Joe around me that can like master that stuff. But if you can delegate and find the people to like run those channels, then brilliant. Yeah, you're not going to know all of the things and have them all in one place. So get yourself an agency or a freelancer, or hire someone if you have the budget to do that, to manage that channel, or upskill yourself if you're part of a small business that would require that. And your day should very much look like focusing on the stuff that you're really good at and pushing on all the other channels that are led by, I'd like to call them industry experts, product experts, to push it that way. I mean, how important do you think that is as well, Joe? Because small business, there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to handle the right channels, even if they do identify them.
Yeah, I think trying to delve in a little bit further to what you've said there, day to day, there's a branch of business that I think about. You've got your revenue generating activities and your non-revenue generating activities. So taking care of the accounts, if you need to, I don't know, let's just say you run a coffee shop or a bakery, be making the food every day, but what are the things that you can actually do within the business that are going to drive more sales? And typically speaking, I think people massively under resource revenue generating activities. So that they spend a lot of time theorizing on strategy, and hardly any time implementing. And the only way how you validate if a strategy is effective is by testing and implementing. And it's kind of the argument between theory versus principle. So what would I try to think of as a day-to-day activity? What are the things that can be done that are going to drive more sales in the long run? And generally speaking, most marketing and sales activity, there's a lag effect of at least, generally speaking, 2 to 3 months. Now, the rule of thumb that I use is the lower ticket the product, the quicker you'll start to see the results. Because a coffee shop that I work with that is just a really nice coffee shop, we created a poster where we're offering a coffee and pastry for £5, and people are snatching up those deals because they're so low ticket. Or follow us on social media and they'll get a free pastry with their coffee. That's so easy to see the ROI, and it's so easy to see the conversions there. But the bigger deals, and Erald, I know you're working with a new client where a lot of what they do is higher ticket. So for them, it's going to take some more time to see those results. And it's actually having the thought of mind to stretch out the time horizon and forecast to a better degree. So you're doing the work, not seeing the results. And eventually those results are going to come. And that falls in line with, I'm not too sure if you've heard of the concept, but the plateau of latent potential.
No, tell me about it.
So what it suggests is that people quit doing something roughly 80% of the way through because they can't see the end outcome. They quit just before they can see something tangible. And that's where I think a lot of people fail within their business. It's because they haven't done stuff before. Sorry, lost my voice. They can't see the goal, therefore, because they can't see the destination, they quit beforehand. And that's where I think a lot of people get stuck. It's just expanding the time horizon.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, sticking to the strategy and giving it enough time to do its job is going to be key, especially for channels which require time, and SEO does require time. I mean, I don't think there's any channel that would get you overnight results. I'll be honest. Like paid media, maybe you'll see something a little bit quicker. You know, there's a bit of a money in and money out kind of matrix that people might go off, but then Joe will tell you as well, it's never that simple. There are many things that need to go right before, and things that need to be in place, whether it's creatives, keyword strategy or channel strategy, an offer to be put together before that can be successful. So yeah, don't give up on it. Small business is difficult. We know it. We've worked with tons of small businesses. If there are any like small business problems that you're encountering that are very specific, we'd love to talk to any small business owners out there or agencies that work with small businesses, consultants that work with small businesses as well, and help work through that with you. But yeah, if there's other questions about your business that relates to marketing strategy, then there's a ton of resources out there, and this podcast is also going to be like going way further into those topics. So feel free to reach out. Joe, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm going to save my voice and let you close.
Fair enough. Thank you for tuning in. Before we go, there's a few things that I want to alert you to. We have a bunch of podcasts already in the bank. This is number 15. So head back to the last 14 episodes if you want to check out some of our other quick questions. We also have a few podcasts with some really amazing guests. Recently, we did one with Kieran Finn from Bluefin Media, and we had Theo Clough from King of Kicks on. So two really, really established agency people, and we will have a lot more coming up. So stay tuned for that. And if you are a agency consultant, owner, someone getting into the space, please do check out Joe's Bespoke Academy as well, and a lot of the content on there. Head over to my page if you want to look at some more SEO based led stuff. But yeah, follow us around. We'll be doing a ton more of this, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode, hopefully.
Thanks for your time, guys. Peace.